Welcome to MTG Friends. This is a follow-up episode to the Arena versus Hearthstone. Now, I wanted to do a deeper dive into a couple of the topics, including and mostly about the randomization that is in Hearthstone and why I think it's troublesome. And also a couple things to note. I mentioned a lot of the similarities in the last episode. But a couple of things I didn't touch on is with your heroes, each of them has a standard 2 mana cost trigger. So like, for example, the Warlock draws a card and you lose life. That's a particular thing that the Warlock does. The other thing is the Warrior by default gives you +2 shields each turn if you trigger it for the 2 cost gem. The other thing I didn't mention in the last episode is milling. So in Arena / Magic, if you run out of cards and you draw and there's no cards to draw and it's your turn, you lose the game. That is not the case in Hearthstone. If you draw a card and there's nothing to draw, you get 1 damage. Then the next time you do it, you get 2 damage. You get 3, you get 4, etc., etc. I think it doubles up. I'll have to check that. I will put it up on the screen. If you pull 2 cards that you don't have, you get 1 and then 2. I'll clarify that. Haven't played for about a year and a half. So I thought it would be interesting to actually look at the top 4 current meta decks in Hearthstone. So let's do that. So let's bring up this is what I used to use, HS Replay. I'd check out the different decks. I'd see what was the top in the meta, compare, figure out my play style. So it looks like the top 4 in the meta, and notice the theoretical win rate, 61%, 56, 62, 56. So you're running roughly 55% win rate to 60, which I did mention in the last episode. So these are the top 4. Let's look for some randomization, which I was telling you is sort of the bane of Hearthstone issues. Now, oddly enough, there are some players that love the randomization portion of Hearthstone. I am not one of them. Are you one of them? I would love to hear about that in the comments. All right, so the first card in this top meta deck. Oh, look, add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand. So those could be great 1-cost minions. Those could be garbage 1-cost minions. 1 cost, I don't know if there's that big of a swing in quality with ones, but there definitely is. You might get a 1/1 creature with a shield on it, as opposed to a 1/1 creature or a 0/1 creature that does nothing. That's not random. That's drawing. That is Librarian of Wisdom. No. Shuffle Murgle Prime into your deck. Divine Shield. Oh, good old Consecration. Oh, this is a staple in Paladin. Spellburst. Cast a spell from your deck. Targets this if possible. Okay. If this deck has no neutral cards, equip a 4/2 True Silver Champion. That is also a staple in Paladin, where you get this great 4/2 True Silver Champion, gives you life gain, etc., etc. Blessing of Authority. No. Equip a 1/4 weapon. Change the health of all enemies to 1. That's actually kind of a good card. Add a copy of each spell you cast on friendly characters this game. Ooh, that's a pretty powerful legendary card. Notice the legendary cards have yellow. Mythic for Arena / Magic. If your deck has no neutral cards, add 5, count them, 5 random Paladin cards to your hand. Those could be 5 terrible Paladin cards. Those could be 5 amazing cards. Or a mix and match. So totally randomized. So there wasn't too much randomization in here, but there was at least 2. So you were running at least 2, 4, maybe 5 random generating spells in this one. Oy. All right, Face Hunter. Usually Hunter doesn't have a ton of random stuff, but it does for sure. If you control a secret, summon 2 hyenas. That's not random. After you use your hero power, deal 5 damage. That's okay. Dragon's Bane. Cool. Oh, there's a staple. There's a staple card. Unleash the Hounds. For each enemy minion, summon a 1/1 Hound with charge. Kill command, another staple. The other thing you'll notice is the card pool is less. You don't have as much rotation in Hearthstone, which isn't a bad thing. That's a neutral statement. Eaglehorn Bow is a normal card. Oh, summon a random beast companion. Totally random. You can get a great one. You can get a not so good one. The random animal companion, I believe, don't hold me to this, was between a stable of 3-4 creatures. So this isn't a complete random thing. It might be a 4/4 with taunt. It might be a 4/2 with haste kind of thing. Then your turn, draw until you have 3 cards. That's not random. Draw a beast. Give it 2/2. Okay. After your opponent casts a spell, destroy a random enemy. Random man, I'm a random man. After you use your hero power, cast a secret from your deck. Oh, Freezing Trap, a staple in Hunter. Summon a copy of this. Okay. Your next hero, your hero power costs 0 for your next one. Gain +2. Your hero power can target. Okay, so also had random stuff. Notice the more power stuff often has it. We already looked at Hunter, so we're gonna look at. We already looked at Hunter, so let's look at the next one, which looks like it's Druid. What kind of random stuff we got going on here? Survival of the fittest. Nope, that looks like a +4/+4 to all minions. Oh, here is a seriously random one. Shuffle 7 dream portals into your deck. When drawn, summon a random dragon. Oh, a random dragon. That could be a 9/9 drop. That could be a 2/3 dragon. I mean, come on, really? Now, it is cool because it's a 4/12 drop, and Ysera is a really cool card. There's multiple Yseras in Hearthstone. This actually, I don't personally think, is the strongest Ysera in the Hearthstone stable of cards. Drive 5 cards. That's pretty good. Every 3rd spell, blah, blah, blah. Summon 2 beasts that cost 5 or less from your deck. So that's sort of random, but at least it's just the ones in your deck. So you could get the 5 cost minions. You could get the 1 cost minions. Or sometimes the 0 cost minions. That's not random. This is random. A 4/5 creature taunt, death rattle when it dies. Summon a random 3 cost beast. So a beast that's 3 or less mana from the entire stable of cards. Not in your deck, just maybe something that's in your deck, maybe outside the game. You don't know. All you know is it's 3 cost or less. Or summon a random 3 cost. Oh, I guess it's exactly 3 cost. So all of them that cost 3. Ugh, yuck. All right, Wild Growth. Oh, Wild Growth actually used to be a 2 drop. They made it a 3 drop. So it must have started breaking things since I've been playing. Rush, Wind Fury. That means you hit twice. Gain attack and health equal to that. That is a cool card. A 3 drop, a 1/4 with Rush and Wind Fury. Ooh, goodness. Deals 3 damage to a minion. At least you get to determine which minion. Give a minion taunt. That's not random. This is random. Discover a spell. Your next one costs 1 less. That is the epitome of random. Rush. Give your other minions Rush. Yep. Rush is haste. Gain 2 mana crystals this turn. Okay. Oh, there is a staple. Gain 1 mana. Crystal this turn only. This card used to say gain 1 mana crystal, not the this turn only. So they modify cards. All right, one last one. Let's do one last one. A mage, since we've already looked at the paladin. Let's look at this mage. What do we got going on? I personally liked playing mage the most. Discover a 6-cost minion. Summon 2 copies of it. That lets you choose from 3 random ones that ends up on your choices, and then you choose one of them, and then you summon 2 copies of it. Totally random. A 6-cost minion could be really cool because it's 6 cost. It could suck because just because it's 6, maybe it has some mechanic that works in other decks. So, oi, very random. Freeze an enemy, summon 2/3/6 water. That is not random. This is also not random, and that is a staple in Hearthstone. Deal 5 damage if your deck has no minions. Summon a random. Random. They love the word random in Hearthstone. This is why people quit. Fireball. 6 damage for 4. That is just a staple card in the Mage builds. After your opponent casts a spell, summon a random 4-cost minion. Random. If you aren't too familiar with Hearthstone, these secrets you play for 3, and you play the spell, and it triggers based off of what it says after your opponent casts a spell. So that's the secret part of it. Some secrets do different things depending. Secret, like this one. After a minion attacks your hero, deal 3 damage to all minions. They don't know what it is. It's basically like a turned over card in the Magic world that until it gets flipped, the opponent has no idea what it is. Same thing with secrets. Draw 2 cards. Staple and Mage. Incanter's Flow. Reduce the cast of spells. That is not random. That is also a staple. Frostbolt. For 2, you do 3 damage and you freeze it. Draw a secret from your deck. That is not random. Freeze a minion. It's already frozen. Not random. Discover a spell. That is random. You get to choose from 3 spells that are random. In this particular case, it's ones that cost 3 or less. So that could be a 0-cost mana spell. That's junk. That could be a 3-cost mana spell. That's pretty fantastic. Totally random. You have no idea. Spend 8 mana on spells. Reward is summon a 6/6 dragon. That's kind of a cool spell. Discover a mage minion. If your deck has no minions, keep all 3. As I was telling you, when you do a discovery mechanic, you choose from 3, and they are randomly chosen. Evolution. Fill your hand with random mage spells. Really? At the end of your turn, discard them. Ugh, that's a huge downside. Oh, Lord. So you would play this and hopefully have like 10 mana and just be able to spend all of it on multiple spells. So that's the gist. That's the randomness. Obviously, I threw up some cards on the board to kind of give you an idea of this. I wanted to do a little deeper dive into the whole, why am I talking about randomization of Hearthstone? Well, that's why. In all of the tiered decks, in all of the top tier decks, as of this recording, all of them had randomization. And I have a problem with that. Hey, tell me what you think in the comments. You got a problem with that? You don't have a problem with it. You prefer it. You think that's super cool. You love the fact that there's lots of random things that happen in Hearthstone. Hey, that's cool. No judgment here. Just because my opinion is thus, that I don't think the randomization is useful and helpful in Hearthstone. And I know a lot of people who feel the same. maybe that's for you, and that's cool. I've noticed a huge increase in the randomization spells and battle cry mechanics. When a creature hits the battlefield, do X random thing. Um, Not for me, man. Not for me. Ladies and gentlemen, not for me. Hey, I'm not saying I never will play Hearthstone again. Maybe I'll end up rage quitting Arena / Magic again someday. But not for the foreseeable future, because I think they're doing a pretty decent job at really leveling out things and making things. Don't get me wrong, there is definitely a power creep that has happened in Magic over the last 10 plus years, where spells have just increased with the text on them, the complexity of what they do. It's, I think that's a negative, actually. Too much going on, too many things. A card that used to just be a 6/6 creature drop that cost 5 or 6. Now it might be a 6 drop 6/5 creature that doesn't escape and has fear and does something to another creature on the other board. I mean, oh my goodness. How many things can you put on the text, and how many things does a creature need to have? Now, mind you, these are usually in the form of mythic or rares. And don't even get me started on why did they start with mythics? Why wasn't it good enough to just have rares? That is for another episode. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I felt that the first segment episode needed to follow up more specifics about why I was talking about Hearthstone. Hey, just for giggles and chagrins, I happen to be playing a deck I had in the past that was a legendary, because I was legendary at the time. Whatever. Legendary players, mythic players, it's all the same thing, man. It's just the love of the game, the love of competition, having fun, playing with top tier decks. Hey, you don't have to be a legendary player or a mythic player to be a good player. You have to put in a lot of grind time to get up to that point, and that's not for everybody. I don't always want to do that. And rather than continuing on this little side rant, I'm just going to say thanks for tuning in. Be a friend of the gathering. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Pretty please. We are trying to extend our fan base so that we can justify the time we're spending putting into this stuff. And we love talking about MTG and games of any kind for that matter. So put in the comments. Tell us what you think. Do a brain dump. Whatever. All right. Thank you for watching.